When there is an opportunity, there is a task that gives you visibility, your stakeholders are not thinking about you. So they just take that opportunity and they just give it to someone else on your team. And you need that opportunity for you to be able to demonstrate that you're ready for the next level, but that opportunity isn't coming to you right now. So what do you do? At some point in your career, you will feel overlooked for some opportunities. You will feel like you've been overlooked. You will feel cheated. You feel like you've earned a spot that nobody is giving to you. And sometimes you will feel like those spots have been given to your peers. And when there is an opportunity, there is a task that gives you visibility, your stakeholders are not thinking about you. So they just take that opportunity and they just give it to someone else on your team. And you need that opportunity for you to be able to demonstrate that you're ready for the next level, but that opportunity isn't coming to you right now. So what do you do? If I were to be your career coach, these are the things I will tell you to pay attention to. Number one, this particular problem is not unique to you. It is not. No matter how painful it is, no matter how disappointing it is, no matter the outcome you're seeing from the conversations, this problem isn't unique to you. A lot of people go through these types of problem, and I need you to pay attention to this. What this does is it relieves you from thinking that you're being haunted, because sometimes you're not. And we just need to stick to what works and what the right answer is. And that's why I need you to know that this is not unique to you. And we have to leave all the cards on the table for you to be able to get the right answers and the right solution to this problem. The second thing I want you to do is to do a thorough assessment of the political landscape within your workplace. You will pay attention. You will pay really, really good attention to what's going on within your organization. Who is the ultimate decision maker? Who says yes or no? Who gives the approval? If your career was going to change now, if you're going to get your promotion, if you're going to be given the right opportunities, who determines that? Now, who are the people that you need to be talking to because they can influence that decision? You need to identify those as well. Who are the people that it seems like they are progressing really fast in their career? And it is because probably they are working with this particular set of leaders. And are there people who are not progressing as fast? And is that because they are not working with some set of people or because they don't have some types of opportunities? I need you to study the landscape of your work environment, because that will say more to you and it will help guide your expectations. Now, if you don't understand the dynamics that play in your organization, your strategy will always be weak, because you need the right strategy to address a problem. And if you don't know what the problem is, or you don't know what is at play, you don't know the people you need to be talking to, you don't know the people you need to be getting on your side, you don't know the sponsors you need to be onboarding, then your strategy will be weak. Now, the next thing I want you to do in solving this problem of being overlooked for your opportunities is when situations occur, specific situation occur where you have been overlooked for opportunities or tasks that you should be doing have been given to somebody else, can you please document those instances where this has happened? You need to document the instances. I need your reptilian brain to lead you here, because we are only sticking to the fact patterns. So we're saying on this particular day, we had 2 tasks, and task A was handed off to this person and task B was handed off to me, even though I had prior to then requested that I be given task A because I believe I have the skills to do it better, and because I was looking to progress in my career, and that task will be helpful in helping me get there. And maybe you can talk about something around experience. You've got more experience around it and you'll be able to deliver it better. So you want to document those instances. I don't want your feelings to lead you to say they don't like me, that they are always doing it, they are never seeing me. That we're not here for that. What we are here for is, are there fact patterns? And can you call those facts out on on day 1, on day 2, on this happened. And when you do that, don't call out fact patterns to hurt somebody else or to say someone is intentionally being discriminating against you. You're not doing that. And that's why you will not say to your boss, for instance, on so day you will give task to this person and you give task B to me because it's not a highly visible task. You're going to say task A was handed off. There are two different things. You're going to separate people from their actions. You're going to focus on the action. All right. So you're going to identify the fact patterns and you're going to document it. And you're going to be doing this without coming up with emotions and feelings and all of that. You stick to the facts. Okay. Now, I will also need you to identify these opportunities and those who receive these opportunities instead of you. Because you want to be able to identify the distribution patterns. Now, you will say, okay, you will determine, is there a reason? Because you want to determine, is there a reason why these tasks are being handed off to those people and not me? Okay, so you want to identify who receives this extra special support because obviously they are having to do this type of tasks compared to me. All right, now let's go down. Let's do a bit of deeper dive into this. You need to understand the situation at a deeper level. So you want to determine on a scale of 1 to 10, how visible are you within your team? And how visible are you within your organization, within your broader organization? How visible are you? On a scale of 1 to 10. If within your team is 5 and in your broader organization is 2, then there's a lot of work we need to do together. I need to help you build your social capital. So you can hit me up. There's going to be a link in the description box on this video. Click on it and see how we can work together. You need to build your social capital because if you don't build your social capital, more opportunities. These are even opportunities you can see. There are some opportunities that you wouldn't even get to hear of because you don't have any relationships with the right people that will make them remember you to tap you for those opportunities. So use the link. Okay. Now, consider whether this particular issue of you being overlooked for opportunities is just within your team or it is a broader issue across your organization. And you will know that because obviously you work with people. So you would see people from probably other teams, other units, other departments. Are they going through this same issue? Or is it the case that it's just you and it's just your team? And as such, probably if you opt and left your team right now and you joined another team in another capacity, it will be the case that you may not have that same issue. And then that's a problem solved other than you building your social capital and continue to build relationships. Okay. So you want to know, because if it's a broader organizational issue, sometimes there may be a gap there for you to fill in terms of stepping in to say, look, I have seen that this is an issue. How can I help to make sure that people who come across these types of issues are supported? For instance, if you notice that people with a particular number of years of experience are not given some type of tasks because they are perceived not to be as experienced, you may want to, create a program, or, start something within your organization to say, let us build people with less experience by giving them more strategic tasks because we want them to grow. That can be the shoe you're feeling. And before you know it, that builds you yourself into becoming an internal brand that people want to relate with. This is key. Can you see how we've brought out an opportunity out within the problem? We brought out an opportunity. Okay. Now, if you work in a highly pressured environment, this is one thing I need you to pay attention to, because I am a manager with a big 4 firm in the UK, and I know this to be a fact. If you're working in a highly pressured environment, there is no time. People are trying to get through their pieces of project quite quickly. The person your manager trusts the most is probably going to be the person, once there is a piece of that, we need to get this done in the next 2 hours. They need to be actively thinking about who can get it done, who can I rely on, gets it done with speed. Who is that person? That's what is crossing their minds. So if you have not built your trust portfolio, there may be an issue, because They are not thinking, they may not necessarily have an issue with you. They don't just think that in that particular circumstance, you'll be able to deliver the results they are looking for. So basically, there is a trust issue there. It may be a significant trust issue or a mild trust issue, but within that time when they want to get something done quite quickly, if you're not the one your manager is thinking about, your senior manager is thinking about, your VP is thinking about, the question is, what can I do to build my trust portfolio? Again, we can work together to make sure this gets done for you. Okay? Hit the link in the description box to access my storefront and you will see, because it's a huge work we need to do. And it's going to, once we do it and you get this on the road, every single place where you get to work, you use the same frameworks, you use the same ideas to build out your trust. People get to trust you. Okay? Now, when it comes to your trust portfolio, when people trust you, they won't think twice before handing off those visible tasks to you, because they know that you're going to get it done the way they want it to get done, and you're going to hand it off back to them quite quickly. Okay. Now, there may be communication gaps between you and your key stakeholder. That's another thing I want you to think about. And I need you to come out of your comfort zone, because that may be the issue. You may need to start thinking about over-communicating your value, because if you're not over-communicating your value, you may be leaving a lot on the table, because they may be thinking, is she working? Is she not working? Is she working? Is she not working? Meanwhile, your own colleagues, once they lift the cup, they go and communicate. Once they write the report, they go and talk about it. Once they do this, meanwhile, you are waiting for a full month before you give your stakeholders updates about the work that you're doing. So you're leaving your stakeholders in the dark. So I need you to start interacting with your stakeholders. Start bringing them on the journey of the work that you're doing. Whenever they ask you how are you, I made a short video recently about how you need to over communicate your value. Instead of when they ask you, what's the update on your work? You don't just say, oh, the work is going on fine, it's going on well. Meanwhile, you have solved a lot of problems. You have experienced delays on that job. You have experienced team issues on that job, and you have solved them. So the answer is not is okay. The answer is we have experienced issue A, B, C, D, E. These were my responses to the issue, and this is where we are now. We are back on track. And that is important, because sometimes your ability to communicate is what will project you forward as someone that can be trusted. Okay. Now, there may also be a misalignment between how you're showcasing your skills and what your stakeholders value. So you may be focusing on the technical aspect of the work. I can do my work well. I can do my work well. I can do my work well. Meanwhile, they are just looking for broader leaders. Your bosses may just be looking for broader leaders. So you need to start asking critical questions. It is important that you do. You need to start asking important questions. Now, there may also be a chance that there is unconscious bias. And your bosses may not know. They may just be biased. Maybe they like someone on your team. Maybe they didn't even realize. They just see themselves in that spiral of always giving that person the opportunities. Maybe there's a meeting with high stakeholders. They tell the person to moderate. There's this. They tell the person to put. So they start building the confidence of that person. And before you know it, the person seems to be the only one working. Once you tap your stakeholders and you let them know that, look, you also want to be given those opportunities, because it will help you grow in your career and you enjoy working there. And so when it comes to unconscious bias, sometimes having those uncomfortable conversations will just resolve it, because now you've brought it to the bear that you can see that you are being discriminated against, and they don't want to be in the situation where they feel like they're discriminating against you. So before they hand off the next task, they will just say, alright, do you want to do this? Because you've talked about it. So it is okay to have that conversation. Now, there are some perception issues, or there could be perception issues about what you can or cannot do. It doesn't matter whether this is reality or not. Perception is reality. So I need you to start owning your own story. Start telling your stories. I was in a meeting with my boss just about some working days back, where I was trying to pitch an idea that I had to him. And as I was pitching it, something said, alright, tell your story. And then I immediately I didn't really feel the connection while I was just telling him what I want to do. But immediately I told him about the story of how I've done it before and how it was beneficial before. Immediately he got in the game. He took his phone. He started talking to some people that he wanted to link me with to be able to get my idea on the road. You need to learn to tell your stories, because that will connect better with your audience. Okay? So these are the things I want you to start thinking about. Again, it may also be the issue that you are focusing on your technical competence, but your bosses at work want you to be a better leader. They want you to start leading others. They want you to tap into the vision. They want you to be the one carrying and helping with the implementation of new policies. So it's not just because as you grow in your career, it's no longer just about your technical competence. It is also how you are able to be a leader to the people in your organization. I've got a lot of things to tell you, and I have a long list of things you can do. And I have a framework around you to build your social capital and build your trust portfolio. If you want to work with me to make sure that these types of issues are no longer things you struggle with and you are getting the right opportunities within your career, use the link in the description box to see how we can work together. I know you've enjoyed watching this video. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel for more powerful, insightful, career-related videos. And make sure you like, share, and leave me some comments. You know I love to read comments, so leave me some nice comments. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.